Hello, dear watchers around the world. This is English Journey with Yasin, and I'm so grateful and I'm so happy to see you in today's video. So right now, as you see, that we have a different thing with our special guest that will talk to you a lot about issue. And today, really, we have an important issue that we need to discuss. And always, we love that to discuss, and we know that the meaning behind issues, and that's important thing. As we are youth, we should know that meaning behind issues. So today we need to discuss an important issue that about self-development, and this is really a great issue, and I'm quite sure we'll admire you. Just try to keep sharing, liking, subscribing, everything, and try to support us and try to support your channel. This is really a great time that we will have with our guest, and I'm not going to introduce him to you. He will introduce himself to you. Welcome.
First of all, initially in the name of Allah, the most beneficial, the most merciful. First of all, I do thanks and appreciate the owner of the channel. Highly appreciations. And I will say to you that my name is Musa Adam Suleiman. Really grateful and honorable to be invited by you in this interesting channel which is called English Journey.
Thank you, and even I do thank you for your nice speak and a nice word that you have said. You have mentioned it before, and right now I'm trying to ask you questions about self-development. And as you know that this important issue, please guys try to listen attentively for his idea, and try to listen that the attentive that for his word that he used to say for you. And my first question that I need to ask you, about self-development, that what is your perspective about self-development generally?
Yeah, thanks indeed for having me a nice opportunity precisely for this question. And we have issue about self-development. My own perspective, my own view is that a definition of it is the process of sophisticating, or the process of enhancing one's ability or one's skills, one's talent. So he means that as we have, self-development, that it's the most important issue, and also it means that self-investigations and self-progress. This is my own notion about, the first question, and means that as a definition.
Thank you, and I will share for your ideas that you have mentioned it before, and I love that you have said definition of it really is clear, and it's clearable for all of you. And this is my turn to ask you that the next question about self-development, that and this particularly for our communities, because we have such people that are going to pretending that the self-development is not important for every person to have. So my question that here is self-development important for every person to have without exception?
Thanks indeed for the second question. I would say self-development is the most crucial thing and the most important thing that we must have. As I will inform you that self-development is, if you develop yourself, you develop the world, you develop your community itself. While you are improving yourself, mean that you work for the community, for the society, and it's so crucial for all of us to have self-development, because and it's related in some areas, whether you want to improve financial side or whether educational side. But I would say most importantly, educational side is very necessary, as we know that. And always, if you are thinking that to enhance as financial side, we know money is important and is very crucial, but education is a necessity and is a right. When you are well educated, that means and you will know a lot of things. Education doesn't mean that just I graduate from university or graduate from institute, but it means a lot, knowing about the life a lot, to understand the life itself. This is very, very essential. This is my perspective about a second question. So thanks indeed.
I do appreciate, actually, you have mentioned it, an incredible point that education, it doesn't mean graduation, and this is a true word, guys. Try to have education wholly and try to have your own education seriously, and this is a true. And this is my third question, that about self-development, that specialize as we are as reduced people. Why as we are as reduced people we have no particular places for learning self-development?
I do thanks and I do appreciate you. As we are Sudanese, we know we have now some foundations that to let us to improve ourselves particular. So, and precisely I would say to you, maybe there are some kind of foundations that are not, abundance, that are not well provided everywhere. We're lacking of some foundations, and as we are Sudanese, we must have such a kind of foundations because it's very necessary for us to have, and it lets us to be aware and also to be open-minded, of course. When we have, for example, an institute, so you mean that it's kind of, the foundation that will let us to improve ourselves, the development, or to have and creating in our knowledge, and but unfortunately, I don't know why, as we are Sudanese, we are not going to care too much about education. We must care about education, and this is the only thing that will lead us forward. So of course, and at the same time, there is one question and there is one attribute you might think about it, that when you don't know where you go, your real journey will start. When you don't know where you go, your real journey will start. You must stick to it. And if you don't know which way you follow, that the real way will be opened, of course. So we must care about education, and we must care about self-development. When you are well developed, when you are well qualified, means that you are progressing the nation itself. And I do thanks really for your interesting issues or interesting questions.
And I do thank you too, my dear Musa. I really, I've mentioned really an incredible point, and this is, third and the last question I want to ask, our guest today, that, how can we train, young people for having their own, self-development? Because when you need to have your own self-development, it needs, training, it needs background about it, and then you will have it.
It's much essential. So, I do thanks again and again for, this question. That how we can have, how we can let our youth to have, some kind of foundations, to train them, to let them to eliminate or to progress their self-development. So I say that for the educated people, those who are educated, well educated, you must open kind of foundations, precisely and especially as institutions for learning English or for learning other language. Here means that you will let the youth to adapt or to harmonize with you, and at the same time they will speak about their matters, about their issues. And I know that self-development doesn't come by a short of time. What I mean by is that it takes time to be great, and at the same time it takes time to be well knowledgeable. And I would say to you again and again, so self-development comes when we have an inspiration, when we have, I can say, evaluation to the education. And I would say my recommendation to the fathers, you must stimulate your daughters, sons to enter any kind of foundation, whether campus, whether an institution, so as to gain and to earn self-confidence, because this is principle for self-development. Having self-confidence is essential and a necessity at the same time. When you are, and self-confidence doesn't come by short of time. It takes time. It needs practice. It needs someone to move a lot, and at the same time it needs sharing more. It needs sharing more to share with the society, whatever. Thanks indeed.
Yes, thank you for your beautiful words that you have mentioned. My respectable, for our fathers, and giving you really an important recommendation and try to accept it. This is really a real recommendation for you. And this is, as a last question, and thank you for watching, and thank you for wasting time to watch our videos. And right now we are just, we have left one thing. Please guys, try to support the channel, and we do spread our videos as weekly, and try to keep sharing, liking, subscribing, and try to support this channel as well. And right now we are going to, think that the last, point from our guest today. Welcome.
I would say my last point that wherever you are, try to know who you are and work to improve it. And as you know, there is a quotation that says that. Do you know you and are you okay with you? The most important thing to have self-esteem and self-development. I would say to you, ultimately, thanks indeed for inviting me. Thanks indeed for having this opportunity as a golden opportunity to me. I'm really grateful and honorable for this chance. Thanks indeed.
I do
God
thank
bless
you
you.
too, and I do thank you guys for watching, and try to keep watching, try to keep subscribing, liking, share everything, and we will do a lot.